Hey everyone, this is James from Exploit Theory, and today I'm going to be showing you a bunch of add-on maps on some of the most recently released games. To make this simple, I'll be showing you these add-on maps in alphabetical order. So let's start out with the recently released 50 Cent Bulletproof. This add-on map will be taking place on the first mission, and all you want to do is get a nice stack of dumpsters in this corner. Alternatively, the AI might just run into this corner and push this dumpster up for you. From there, all you need to do is jump on top of the dumpster and head on top of this trailer. From here, you can just walk right out of the map. Next up is a series of unfortunate events. For this add-on map, you want to head to this location and use one of your characters to push the other into this corner. Once that character is in the corner, swap to that character and you'll clip through the ground. Unfortunately, once you fall into the map here, there's not much else you can do. In the game Area 51, close to the beginning of the game, you are able to head over to this box here and jump on top of the light. Once on this light, you can just simply jump over the barrier and get out of the map. Next up is a world first and a glitch I know many of you guys have been looking forward to. Yes, it's out of Bad Boys Miami Takedown. All you need to do is to head to this portion of the game and stand against this wall next to the gate. Now clear out all the enemies, and once you do, the gate will open and push you straight through the wall. Next is a game considered by many to be the game of the year. Yes, it's the B-movie game. Now this add-on map takes place on the first exterior level, and all you need to do is head between these two bushes here and fly through this gap, avoiding the turnback barrier, and then you fly freely outdoors. In Bike Street Vert Dirt, you're able to crash along this wall here, and you will reset out of the map. In Bionicle, instead of confronting the evil Makuta, you can instead get out of the map on the snowboarding section. All you need to do this is jump immediately at the start of the section and you should be able to land on this wall here. From here, you can slide your way out of the map and straight to the endless pit below. Next up is the recent hit, Call of Duty Black Ops Wii. To do this, you need to head to the second mission and jump on top of these barrels. Once on the barrel, you can jump on this wall in front of me and then get on top of this scaffolding. From here, you can simply jump on the roofs and out of the map. In Brute Force, you need to walk two of your characters up this large route and position one of them in this corner. From there, you need to swap to your other character, jump on top of that character's head and on top of the large route. From here, you can simply walk out of the map. In World at War Final Fronts, you're able to freely explore and get out of the car section by heading over to this trigger here, and once you hit the trigger, you want to quickly turn around and head to this turret to your left. Get on the turret, and it will avoid the cutscene where it pulls you into the car, and from here you can simply get off the turret and walk right out of the map. Next up was undisputedly the most difficult out-of-map to find on this list. It's in Civil War, A Nation Divided. Now to do this glitch, you'll need to jump on this barrel in front of me and jump across to the sandbags. Once on the sandbags here, you can jump to the boxes, and from the boxes, you'll be able to jump in this overhang here, where there's a small hole in the barrier which will let you get out and under the map. In Conflict Desert Storm, you can go prone in this corner in front of me, which will then elevate you all the way to the top of the roof of the building. From here, you can simply walk in the air all around the map. In Dave Mira's Freestyle BMX2, you can head over to this corner and you want to jump and do a wall ride. If done correctly, you should wall ride and clip through this fence here and be free to explore out of the map. In Delta Force Black Hawk Down, you're able to jump out of the map by simply jumping onto this barrel and across to the bus stop. From there you can jump on the roof and you can walk right out of the map. In Ed, and Eddy The Mis-Edventures, you're able to get out of the map on the very first area, much like 50 Cent Bulletproof, by stacking some garbage cans in this corner and jumping right out of the map. In Freedom Fighters, you're able to do this semi-tricky jump where you jump around this gate's barrier and pull yourself up on this wall. Once on this wall, you're able to drop down into the ocean and freely explore out of the map and under the map. Moving along to Ghostbusters the video game for the PS2, if you bring this broken piece of stairway all the way to the stairwell, you can put it along this rail here and walk up and over and out of the map. After countless hours of hard work and suffering, I bring you this completely pointless and horrible glitch in Kill Switch. In Dark Lineage, you're able to fly up this lift here, and then quickly turn around and land on this hillside. From here, you're out of the map and free to explore. In Medal of Honor Frontline, you're able to jump on top of this chimney in front of me, and then turn around and do a grenade jump on top of the roof. From here you can drop down and out of the map. Next up in the Medal of Honor series is Rising Sun, and this out of map is extremely complex. What you're going to need to do is head over to this fence and jump over. Congratulations, you're now out of the map. Next up is Modern Warfare 3, and yep, you guessed it, it's for the Wii. Now to do this glitch, you'll need to clear up all the enemies on this rooftop, and then head over to this radio tower. Once all the enemies have been cleared, you want to jump on top of this plastic table, and then I recommend jumping backwards to the next plastic table. From there you can use the computers to get on top of this rail, and then jump over this fence. Once you're up on this fence here, you're able to actually walk inside this wall, and you'll want to follow it along, and then carefully drop down where I do. If you do it correctly, you should avoid fall damage that would normally kill you, and you'll be free to explore down below and out of the map. The outer map on Narc is quite impressive, and in order to do it, you'll need to head up on top of this roof. Now, to start off, you'll want to hang from this ledge here, and then move to your right. This should teleport you to the upper ledge above, where you can pull yourself up and on top of the roof. From here, you want to follow the path that I do to get out of the map. Once out of the map, you can jump along this wall here, which will elevate you slowly all the way to the top of the map where you can then drop down and skydive. In New Legends, you're actually able to get out of the map within the first minute of gameplay. In order to do this, you'll need to head over to this tree here, and then jump against the hillside. You should be able to get behind the tree with your jump and then get a second jump, which will allow you to get out of the map. This outer map is one of the larger outer maps on this list and is quite fun to explore. In Rockstar's new hit game Oni, you're able to use the giant cheat code on this level and jump over the walls shown, which will let you fully explore out of the map. In Over the Hedge, you're able to jump along these laser fences and then jump over this gate here. Unfortunately, you won't be seeing Over the Hedge today. In Quantum Redshift, you're able to head backwards on the track and you'll be able to launch off this section of the track and then gain enough air to fly over and on top of this stone. In Red Faction 2, you're only able to get out of your mech suit in certain designated areas, but if you head to the location shown and position your mech just on the edge of this boundary, you're able to get into the mech and then break the system, which will then let you get out of the mech wherever you wish. You can use this to head further into the level, where you can then get on top of certain objects where you were normally not allowed to play as the player. Doing this in this elevator shaft here will let you go up. By getting out of your mech in the elevator section, you're able to get on top of the elevator and then breach through the ceiling. From here, you're able to fall under the map forever. In Rising Storm Vietnam, on the mission Into the Fire, you're able to walk along this wall at the start of the mission, which then should clip you through the wall. Once you clip through the wall, your character will continue to walk at the angle he was walking, which will allow him to slowly elevate up and into the air. You can continue to do this until you walk over a section of the level. In Rogue Trouper, you're able to get out of bounds by rolling along the path that I take. In Samurai Jack, the Shadow of a Coup, you can jump on top of this control panel and onto its wall. From this wall, you want to turn around and jump to the pillar. Once on this pillar, you'll need to clear the barrier on the wall in front of you. In order to do that, I recommend activating slow motion as you jump to get maximum distance. The next glitch brings us to Chinatown and Scooby-Doo Unleashed. In order to do this glitch, you'll need to jump on top of this box, and then you can simply jump onto this barrier here. From here, you want to head towards the bridge and fall underneath the bridge. This will avoid any reset barriers and allow you to land on the ground below. In the Simpsons Hit Run, the player is able to use the car jump cheat code on this bridge here to jump past the turnback barrier for the water and land underneath the map where they can freely drive around. In the outdoor mining section in the Suffering, the player is able to jump on this suspended block and then jump to the fence. Once you're on the fence, you can simply jump on this hill and walk right out of the map. Next up is Shrek 2. In order to get out of Shrek 2, you need to find an object that's the perfect distance away from the barrier where when you jump behind it, your character will get pushed through the barrier. In this case, we'll be using this basket of apples to get Shrek out of the map. As a bonus, this glitch can also be done with any of the objects that Shrek can pick up and move. In this case, I'll be using the gears, which you can then place in a corner and use to breach your characters out of bounds. And of course, no video involving Shrek could be complete without showing off Shrek the Third. So here we're going to be showing you how to get out of bounds using Donkey and Shrek the Third. To do this, all you need to do is head up to this ledge here and then hook jump around to this wall. This wall would normally be used for Shrek to run along, but now we have Donkey up here, so we can run all the way to the end of this wall and then jump under the map. Last but certainly not least, we will be getting out of Star Wars Republic Commando. In order to do this glitch, you just need to jump on this rubble in front of me, and then jump to the wall to the right, which will get you fully out of the map. And that's going to sum up all of the new cool out of maps for recent games. The glitches in this video were found by our team at Exploit Theory, but if you feel like you've seen any of these glitches elsewhere, please let us know and we'll give credit where credit is due. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing and hit that like button. We have a Discord channel in the description below where you can talk to me or the other members of the Exploit crew. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.